Welcome to Miracle Morning Mastermind. Today is going to be a breakthrough for someone, a breakthrough in results. So, there's a patch of grass nearby, and for a month, it was this ugly looking patch of grass that I thought was dead. For months and months and months, it was just dirt and this yellow patches of what looked to me like dead grass. And it was an eyesore. And I remember thinking somebody needs to dig that up or lay down some turf or something because it is an ugly patch of grass. And every day I would see it, I would think, man, that is such an eyesore. And you couldn't have convinced me that it wasn't dead. But the last couple of weeks, it's rained a few times. One day it rained all day long. And I went out of town and I came back and I saw that patch of grass and I did a double take and I said, what in the world? And when I saw that same patch of grass that looked like it was dead, it was this beautiful carpet like plush green, just massive spread. You couldn't see dirt, you couldn't see yellow. All you saw was this beautiful patch of green grass in abundance. And it was tall. And I remember thinking, what? That was in there the entire time? All that beautiful green grass was there the entire time? All it needed was water? And I would have never known that was there had it not rained. And it made me think, wow, they didn't have to wait for it to rain in order to have that beautiful grass. They didn't have to wait for outside forces. They could have watered that grass the entire time and it would have been just as beautiful. What does that have to do with the seeds that we've been planting every single day? And I don't know how grass works, or I've heard of grass seeds. I don't know how that works. But what I know is that it looked like dead ground, dead. It just looked like dirt and dead grass to me. And I would have thought that if they'd have watered it, there would have been patches of green grass. But the entire piece of land was filled with beautiful green grass, not one patch of dirt in sight. So, what can we take away from this? Here's one thing that I know in my business, that on average, there's a formula that's proven over and over and over and over again. And that formula is 10 equals 2 and 1. That formula means that out of 10 people seeing the presentation with the proper follow-up three-way intro, there's always two on average that were waiting to become a customer, and one on average that was waiting to become an associate, a business partner. That formula has not failed me in 25 years, not just with personal contacts, team contacts, not just with my personal 2 to 5 a day with a three-way, but my team members 2 to 5 a day with three-way. My question for everyone today is, what if that formula is true? If that's true, that means out of all the 2 to 5 new people you've reached out to from the time you started, 20% of them are ready to be converted into green grass. Even if it looks like it's dead, even if it looks like they're not interested, they're not ready, yes, they are. 1 out of 10 that may seem like they weren't interested or won't join or whatever it is going on in your mind, just like what was going on in my mind about the dirt, 1 out of 10 is waiting for the right thing to happen to be enrolled as an associate. And sometimes, sometimes it requires us to get out of the way and let somebody else water that grass. We call that third party, three-way intros. So I want you to add up. How many people do you have in your pipeline? And if 20% of them aren't customers yet, and I mean, when I say pipeline that you've been reaching out to, if 20% of them aren't customers yet, and if 10% of them aren't associates yet, your grass is still waiting. That green grass is there waiting for you. And sometimes there's something that needs to be shifted in the activity, like there's a certain follow-up that needs to be done. The three-way intro hasn't been done yet. And sometimes maybe the activity has been correct so far, but the mindset and attitude is off, and it's keeping us from giving that grass what it needs to convert into green grass. For example, if I don't believe that the grass can be green, that blade of grass can be green, then I probably don't follow up with the right type of expectancy. Not in that one blade of grass, but the expectancy that 2 out of these 10 are signing up. I just need to figure out which one of these 2 out of the 10 are the ones that are ready to be green. And sometimes just that shift in mindset and attitude, which is the emotional part, sometimes there's some negative thinking and negative emotions that keep us from doing the right activity with the right spirit. And sometimes just tweaking that negative self-talk or negative emotions like, oh, that one person should have been interested, or I got offended, or I expected this person. I was talking to a new associate the other day, and they were saying, yeah, I kind of got offended by how they responded. And I said, don't let that shift your process. because that person's still a sign up waiting to happen. But if your countenance drops, if your emotional state drops and you start saying things like, you know what, don't even worry about it, that's not leading them in the right direction. So sometimes it's just switching the negative thinking, the negative emotions into positive thinking, positive emotions, from negative expectations to positive expectations. And when I say positive expectations, I mean healthy positive expectations. I'm not saying I expect 10 out of 10 people to enroll, but I surely expect 2 out of 10 to enroll right away and 8 out of 10 to enroll over time. There's 2 out of 10 I don't expect to ever enroll. There's 2 out of 10 people I don't expect to ever enroll. I expect 8 out of 10 to enroll, and this is from 25 years experience. Because we have a life events product that touches every aspect of life. Even the person who's not ready now, within a few months or a year, enough life experiences will make them more ready than they were before when we spoke. But I expect 2 out of 10 to be ready now as a customer, and 1 out of 10, even more in today's climate, to be ready to enroll to create another revenue stream, a strategic partnership. So, what are you all taking away from this for yourself and your organization? And this is why we utilize things like the follow up journal, the Green Performance Club follow-up journal, composition book, to keep track of all those folks or whatever follow-up system you've graduated to after that first 90 days. So you can look in there and see how many people you have in your pipeline and make notes of who hasn't enrolled yet and make sure you've gotten at least 2 out of 10 to enroll right away as a customer. If not, you got to know there's green grass in there. There's green grass in there. Isn't it funny? I got that green grass revelation, and we use green follow-up journals whenever possible. So let's hear from you all. What are you taking away from this for yourself and for your team?
I'd like to go ahead and speak, Coach.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
this is Deidre Glover out of the Houston area, Corns Power Team. I'm an executive director, and I'm an executive director maker. Um, I've gotten several thoughts here. For one thing, I started using that book, that green book. I got a lot of pages full here of names with 2 each, and now that's prompted me to, you know what, I need to go back, to go on back and talk to all these people, because some of them joined the witness protection program after I sent them a video. Some of them looked at it, and then I couldn't get them, and so I need to go back and do 3 ways with them. I need to at least give them a call, a video call, a text message, uh, call them first and then text. And so since they're ready, 10 equals 2 on 1. I believe that. So this just causes me to think about that and to go ahead and do that right there, because it's the end of the month. And thank you, Coach.
I hear it
Thank
in
you.
your
So back
voice.
that up. Thank
I
you.
hear the I hear the confidence. You said I'm gonna call him because I believe that. Because there are 2 out of 10 that are ready.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
that's the right thinking, the right emotions, the right
Thank
healthy
you.
expectations. That is water for your green grass. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
unmute, make some noise for Miss Deidre Glover.
Yeah.
Whoop
Thank
whoop.
Miss
you.
Glover.
Thank you.
Whoop Miss whoop. Glover. All right, Miss Glover.
Who else would you
Thank
take
you so
away
much.
from this for yourself and your team? I want to hear from everybody. Jump right in.
Mhm.
You you must have another mute, Pastor Glenn.
Great morning.
There you go.
This is Glenn Schroeder, Sacramento, California. I'm an executive director and an executive director maker, and I represent Team Franco. Miss Glover is really funny. She's hilarious because I feel that way too. They done jumped into the witness protection plan. But that's a great analogy, Coach. That pipeline is very valuable to us, and I know personally I don't utilize that to its fullest. I worked for it, so I need to treasure it enough to actually go back and follow up. While you were saying that, though, I realized that there's components to something that looks dead. It'll get watered, but it needs sunlight, and our persistence is the sunlight. That's what allows people to see something. Our persistence. And I've had actually people say, so you're still doing that business? If they actually accidentally picked up the phone, you're still doing that? Yes. That's the sunlight right there. If I'm still doing it, I'm not a scam to them.
Wow.
So I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much, though, for looking at things, looking around at things that that we can draw positivity from.
Yes. Yes.
That
Thank you.
is so good. Make some noise for Pastor Glenn Strotter, everybody. Whoop, whoop.
Mr. Estrada,
Pastor
yes.
Glenn.
True.
Let's
Yes,
go.
That is
yes.
so true. Mm-hmm.
Did y'all catch that? Look, did y'all catch that? That your persistency alone
Is the
is
water.
evidence that causes some of that grass to grow. Like, wow, I thought this was just some little temporary thing you were going to do, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd be wasting my time or wasting my money to join you, but you're still here. Now, see, some people are offended when their friends have that type of thinking. And don't be offended. That offense could cause you to take negative action and not persist and not provide that sunshine. Don't be offended, be inspired. Don't let people's responses, because you had healthy expectations of how you had unhealthy expectations of how they should respond. Don't be offended by that. Be motivated by that. That, you know what? I'm going to be so positive and so persistent and so consistent that when I check back with you, you're going to be like, all right, I better move. I better do something. I better get moving. But also sometimes it's the persistency that Pastor Glenn talked about that is the sunshine. Sometimes it's the relationship. Sometimes that person's like, I like what you have. I just need to get to know who you are. Sometimes it's the relationship. And you show them the information, you show them enough for them to know, wow, this makes sense. But it's just a certain amount of time before they get to know you, like you, and trust you enough. Look up the 7-11-4 formula. Google that. 7-11-4. Sometimes people need to see you 7 times or 4 different locations or 11 different type of exposures to get familiar with you as a brand before they start trusting your brand. One or more of those combos, they haven't seen you enough yet. They haven't had enough personal conversations with you yet. They haven't consumed enough of your content yet to get to know you, like you, and trust you yet. You haven't put enough out on social media for them to observe on their own to feel more comfortable with you as a person yet. Your character, your trustworthiness, your positivity. But sometimes, watch this. You have given them that by now, and you didn't even know it until you reach back out to them, and all of a sudden they're responding to you differently. And it's because you've been providing the sunshine this whole time and didn't know it. You've been watering. They've been watching from a distance and you didn't know it. I'm telling you, you're going to start hearing people say, you know what? I was thinking about calling you the other day. It's funny you reached back out to me. I just had somebody say, I'm glad you reached out to me. I decided to take another job after I came to your event. I decided to take another job, and that job is not working out very well in sales. And I've been thinking this whole time, I need to do Legal Shield, and I couldn't find your phone number. I couldn't find your phone number. He was waiting to come in business with me, but I hadn't done the three-way intro. And all it took was one three-way intro for him to say, oh, I'm so glad you reached out. Now he's in. He's already sent out a bunch of welcome texts. He's super excited. He went to an event the other day, a nonprofit function. He's gathering up contacts. He's on fire. This is amazing. He used his membership, got him in the member perks. So here's the thing. Uh, I've done all this work. I've done all this work. It's time for me to reap my harvest of 2 out of 10 and 1 out of 10. You just got to get bold sometimes. You got to get confident. I have 2 out of 10 ready. I've done my part to have 2 out of 10. I've done my part to have 1 out of 10. Now I'm going to claim what belongs to me. I don't know which one of you is that 2 out of 10, but 2 out of these 10 people are signing up today. 1 out of these 10 people are joining my team today. And when you move with that level of confidence, that level of boldness, something happens and you actually find what you're seeking. Who else before we wrap up? What are you taking away from today?
Hey, Coach, if I can jump in, this is so juicy. Pam Carnes out of Houston, Texas, Platinum Executive Director and Platinum Executive Director Maker. Um, we say it all the time, 5 to 7 exposures is necessary for anybody to join our business, to join our team. But we forget that when we start prospecting, and we forget to go back and do the watering and the fertilizing, quite frankly, and the sunshine. We forget all of that. Each one of those steps is a part of that process. But we think we plant the seed and then it's supposed to just manifest into this beautiful garden. And that's not the way the process works. So this is an illustration that really helps you to like picture what is that process to grow anything. You have to cultivate it. And so our follow-up and our persistence, our sunshine and our rain is all a part of that process. The fertilizer, though, let me tell you who the fertilizer is. The fertilizer is your coach. The fertilizer is the person that's going to help you lift that burden. The fertilizer is the person that you're going to put them in a three-way with, who can then take it to the next level. If the rain, the sunshine, and all of that doesn't work, sometimes you need a farmer or a person to be involved in order to really see the harvest of anything that you planted. And that is your three-way expert. Don't leave them out of the equation. Thank you.
Everybody, that was it. That's the drop the mic moment, y'all. Unmute, make
That's
some
it.
noise for
Drop
Miss
the
Pam
mic.
Carnes. Woo,
All
woo,
right,
woo,
Miss
woo, woo,
Carnes.
woo.
Whoop, whoop. Let's go.
So I got all these people signing up because I decided to find some more creative ways to get them into a three-way intro. What are some of the other ways I can get this person into a three-way intro? What 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 other what other reason can I reach out to this person to move them along? And I realized, wow, I got all these people, they've seen a Zoom or been invited to a Zoom or been invited to see a video or maybe even came out to a live event. But what have they not seen yet? What have they not been invited to yet? Y'all, I'm giving you some gems right now.
An
And then it
event.
hit me. Then it hit me, oh, a lot of these people have never been invited to, some of them been invited to a video, but they never been invited to a Zoom. Some of them have been invited to a Zoom, but they've never been invited to a live event that's in their area. I can put them in a three-way text with someone else and ask the other person, would you please share with my prospect when the next Zoom is coming up? Or would you please share with my prospect when the next live event is in such and such area? And I can let my three-way expert know in advance what it is I want them to invite them to. and then put them in a three-way text and let somebody else invite them instead of me inviting them. Instead of me inviting them and saying, hey, Tuesday night, why don't I put them in the phone with Miss Carnes and a text message with Miss Carnes? Miss Carnes, I want to introduce you to such and such. We met at this such and such place. Um, would you please, I think that they might benefit from our networking opportunities that we have. Would you please share with them when the next networking event is in such and such state or such and such city? And then let Ms. Carnes send them the text message. Absolutely. Great to meet you, George. We actually have an event coming up on Tuesday at 6:30. Are you able to attend? George says, yes. Oh, great. Who else would you like to bring? Here's another tip. Who else would you like to bring so I can add them to the guest list? Miss Pam Carnes could say that for me. Whoever my expert is could say that for me. I'm using experts all over the country now to help invite people to the next event. And if it's not a live event, I can say, hey, I was talking to such and such a while back about a work from home opportunities. Would you please share with them when the next live Zoom is? Right? So those are some other ways I can get out of the way and do a three-way. So let's go crush it, family. Go get what you earned. Go get what you've earned. Get your 2 out of 10 today that are customers. Get your 1 out of 10 that are ready to become an associate. And let's go boldly. Keep on serving, keep on watering, keep that sunshine, and let's go reap this harvest. Have a great day, everybody. ED equals?
Every
Every day.
day.
What time is it?
Ring time.
Ring time.
Love y'all.
All
Platinum.
right, platinum. Let's go.
Platinum.
Let's go.